Hi, my name is Andres, and I want to start this video with one question. What if one day you were told that your child has an incurable disease and that you, as a parent, don't have the authority to decide what treatment to give him? That is the premise of Lorenzo Soil, a film based on true events. But this story goes beyond the disease. It tells about rights, citizen science, and the power to make decisions about one's own life. In Mexico, for decades, many people with disabilities or cognitive illness could not decide for themselves. The state declared them legally incapable. That changed a lot with an historic legal reform and a key Supreme Court ruling. Today, I want to tell you how Lorenzo Soil connects to the end of interdiction in Mexico and the transformation of civil justice. In Mexico, judicial interdiction was a legal figure that allowed a person to be declared incapable of exercising his or her rights. A person with intellectual disability, psychosocial disability, or cognitive impairment could be put on a trial, and if the judge approved that, a guardian was appointed to make decisions on his or her behalf. The person was legally excluded. This was justified supposedly to protect him or her, but in practice the interdiction nullified their autonomy. Imagine not being able to decide where to live, who to marry, or what medical treatment to receive, all because someone decided that you don't have the capacity to understand what's going on. The paternalistic vision went into crisis when Mexico signed the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The milestone of the reform that I mentioned was the review of Amparo 159/2020. In that amparo, a woman was declared interdicted for having a psychosocial disability, and for years this woman was unable to decide on her own medical treatment. Her case reached the Supreme Court, and there it was said, in no uncertain terms, interdiction, by completely replacing the will of the person, violates his or her right to equality, autonomy, and legal capacity. The court established that it is no longer possible to annul someone's legal personality because of her or his disability. What is needed is not to take away the power to decide, but to offer support to exercise it. This marked a before and after in Mexican civil law. Lorenzo Soil is not just a film about a disease. It is a story about the right to fight, the right to decide, and the right to not be silenced. His parents refused to accept a passive condemnation. They researched, questioned, and resisted, even when the medical and scientific establishment treated them like madmen. And because of that, Lorenzo lived more longer than expected. His story reminds us of something fundamental, that everyone, regardless of their condition, deserves to be heard. Today in Mexico, when interdiction is banned and support in decision making, what we're saying is that all people have a voice, all people have dignity, and that, in the end, is the most powerful message that Lorenzo's life left us. That's all, and thank you for watching. Lorenzo's story and his parents' struggle show something very powerful, that even when all seems lost, a person's will and dignity can defy science and law. And what happened in Mexico is a reflection of that very idea. People with disabilities are not objects of protection, they are subjects of rights. They have the right to decide, to make mistakes, to change their minds, just like everyone else. Today, thanks to that legal reform and the judicial ruling, Mexico is beginning to fulfill that historical debt. And although there is still so much to be done, this is a giant step towards a more humane, free, and more dignified justice.